he's told me several times how proud he is, and he listens to this show. I'm really glad that I get to talk to him about this because I was talking to my mom and dad the other night, and my dad had mentioned that he's really grateful that we have the relationship that we have now, you know, and I am too. You know, I'm really grateful that I get to have a relationship with the only brother that I've ever had in a manner that is so healthy and growing and peaceful. And, you know, we lift each other up, and like we ask each other, you know, what books are you reading? What are you getting out of it? And it's just a really healthy, loving relationship. And it wouldn't have been, time's up. it wouldn't be that way had I not been so sick, you know? And so the payoff is so great. It's so big, you know? And as I walk through and I look at the amount of damage that could have been, you know, nobody has to forgive me for the things that I've done, for my selfishness. Nobody, you know. And it brings me around to, you know, that thing that I was talking about, you know, debt, emotional debt is spiritual debt. And owing amends from past behavior is emotional debt.
Sure.
You know, when I first got sober and I first made this list, I would go back to my hometown and I would drive around, and I was always just fucking, I hated being there. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to go anywhere. I wanted to go to my parents' house and leave, go to my parents' house and leave, because I wasn't at a place where I was walking as a free man yet. And I wasn't walking as a free man yet because I owed one person an amends that I was scared to do. Okay. Now, my best friend in the world, we met in the Sandbox. I've talked about him a few times. We grew up together. We did our 40th birthday together, a tag team. He does all my tattoos.
Right.
My tattoo artist. We were joined at the hip, man, you know, and there are certain things that you just supposed to not do, you know, and being like the deviant that I am, the selfish person that I was back then, I was the best man at his wedding, and with his wife there was some indiscretion that he found out about, right? Like I betrayed him in his marriage. Now, they ended up getting a divorce and going through that. Well, it created an amount of shame in me that was hard to describe, right? Because I knew that you don't do that kind of shit. And we spent 8-9 years apart after a lifetime together. And it was the weirdest fucking thing, man, because at the time I had Facebook. And I don't have Facebook anymore.
Right.
I'm on the gram, but I don't have Facebook. And I was working with my sponsor, and we were taking care of Avery's grandma as she was dying. And we went to her grandma's house and came home, and there was a friend acceptance on Facebook from him, which I thought was really weird because I did not have the balls to ask him to be my friend on Facebook. So, like, divine hookup or whatever you want to call it, right? Like, something happened, and he accepted my friend request. Well, I didn't know what to do, so I went to my sponsor's house, and I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, what do I do? I'm freaking out because I was so nervous to face this guy because of the betrayal and the shame that went along with it. You know, this was a very emotional, this was the one amends that I was so afraid to do that it was still causing me dysfunction in every area of my life. Like, I could not walk around free until I faced this man in the eyes. And so I went home and I got on Facebook and I asked him for his phone number and I gave him a phone call. And needless to say, it was kind of strange at first. You know, how's it been? Been a while.
Yeah, you're not discussing it right out the gate.
You know, now he had gotten remarried. He had a little girl. We didn't have any kids yet, me and Avery. He had a little girl. He's still living in my hometown, and we set up a time to come over. And I went over to his house, and he's showing me around the house, and I'm like, fuck, dude, it's been 10 years, because of me, you know, the way that I was. And he had started a tattoo shop, and he had a successful tattoo shop, and became a really good artist. And he, you know, we talked a little bit about it, and he said, you know that it's always been my dream to have a tattoo shop. And I got that. And it never felt like complete because I didn't have my best friend in the chair. And it still, to this day, right?
Right.
Like people love me. You know, we're loved. And we go through and hurt them trying to heal ourselves. And that's why we owe an amends, right? I'm sorry that I hurt you because I didn't know how to talk about myself.
Willie, you're all tears right now.
Yeah, I fucking love it. I love what my life has become. Through making amends has changed everything. Everything.